It is the 17th day of June 2024. Eid al-Adha Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters from wherever you're watching us on this wonderful Monday. Welcome to the Daily Report. I am George Maringa. Our sign language interpreter is Rhoda Nyamai. Today has been a public holiday with a lot of razzmatazz, especially as Kenyans chose to mark it differently. Remember, it was a day to there was marking, of course, in respect or in honor of the Eid al-Adha, which was celebrated yesterday, and an extension was happening today. But of course, here on TV47, the home of untold stories, we endeavor to bring you details of everything that is happening from across the country and beyond, especially even as we look at what will be happening tomorrow regarding the current situation and the current conversation on matters the finance bill. That and much more will be coming your way in a short while. Our SMS lines are open 22047. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, followed by your question, comment or feedback. But before then, here is a glimpse of our top stories tonight. Tonight, a lot has been said over the hottest conversation in the country right now, the Finance Bill 2024. But do you know what steps are there before it becomes law? A citywide car theft ring was broken today in Kamulu after DCI officers descended on one man's compound where not one, not two, but 5 stolen cars were hidden and modified. And it was pomp and color and a bunch as Kenyans attack the Eid al-Adha holiday with typical gusto. Celebrate this very important day. We'd love to hear from you. Our SMS lines 22047 on X, formerly Twitter, and across the socials. I'm at George Maringa _ Use the hashtag Daily Report. As I informed you, Rhoda Nyamai is on sign language interpretation tonight. Let's begin with our top story tonight, where Mombasa Governor Abdul Somad Nasir and Garissa Governor Nathif Jama have urged parliamentarians to rise above partisan politics to amend clauses in the Finance Bill 2024 that are unfavorable to ordinary Kenyans, asking them to thoroughly read the recommendations by the Committee on Finance Bill before voting. The two spoke as they led their communities over the Eid al-Adha. Chichi Josephine opens up broadcast tonight with that report.
Mombasa Governor Abdul Somad Nasir is now calling on parliamentarians to thoroughly read the recommendations by the Committee on Finance Bill 2024 before casting their votes.
Itakuwa ni muhimu wabunge wetu wote waweze kuisoma, kuchukua ile committee report, na wakati wanafanya ile debate pia waweze consult constituents wao, waweze kuzungumza na watu wao.
The governor spoke at Ronald Ngala grounds, where hundreds of Muslim faith believers assembled for Eid al-Adha morning prayers, where he urged members of parliament to consider the voice of Mwananchi even as they follow their political party's mandate. This, as the Mombasa had openly tarnished the one-man, one-shilling revenue allocation model.
Take a party position as well. Ikiwa chama kimeamua ni mwenendo fulani, go through that committee report, uangalie kama yale kwamba Wakenya walikuwa wamezungumzwa yameweza kuangaliwa ndani yake.
Elsewhere, Garissa Governor Nathif Jama has said that his administration was making the necessary consultations with stakeholders such as religious leaders, the Garissa County Assembly and elders before coming up with a common stand on Muguka Sill.
People have really gone out of their way to say things that are not even true.
Elsewhere, religious leaders in Uasin Gishu County have asked the Kenya Kwanza leadership to find a lasting solution to the conflict witnessed within the ruling party.
Bele kuna bill ambayo inangoja ipitishwe, na ili hali mgawanyiko kwa chama kimoja kimeonekana. Tunatotaka kukisema, tofauti zao waziweke kando, waangalie katika mswada huu ama waangalie katika bili hii linalofaa kupitishwa lipitishwe, lisilofaa liwachwe.
They spoke at Masjid Nur Mosque during the celebration of Eid al-Adha, where they expressed their displeasure with the current government.
Katika Kenya Kwanza imegawanyika mara mbili, hayo yote waweke kando, wamweke Wanjiku mbele na namna gani atafaidika katika bili.
Chichi, Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi, for that. With the 2024 Finance Bill conversation taking center stage amongst concerned Kenyans and members of parliament, the 15-member committee is set to decide on whether Kenyans will dig deeper into their pockets in the next financial year or will listen to their opinion after the controversial bill was publicly debated on. And as Mike Kagwongo now reports, a section of Finance and National Planning Committee members led by Maringa North Member of Parliament Joseph Makilap have proposed massive changes to the controversial Finance Bill 2024 in its third reading. But ahead of MPs voting and presidential assent to make it an act, how does this bill specifically become law? Take a look.
Good afternoon, Chair. The Molo MP Kuria Kimani-led Finance and National Planning Committee retreated on Wednesday last week to write a report on the Finance Bill of 2024 ahead of its tabling in the Parliament tomorrow afternoon. The committee met with a number of government entities on Tuesday last week to discuss a number of public recommendations that were submitted during the 2-week public participation process. The purpose of this was to get the views of the people on the specific concerns that surfaced throughout the public debate concerning the bill and the potential effects they would have on the economy if executed.
Lastly, honorable members.
But before all this, before MPs vote on it and a presidential assent makes it an act, how does this bill become law? Well, this process will be based on the requirements of various government agencies. First, the National Treasury and Executive draft the Finance Bill. In its first reading, the bill is introduced to Parliament where it is assigned a tracking number and immediately assigned to a committee. Following its nature, the Finance Bill is assigned to Finance and National Planning Committee. The second reading is the stage of the legislative process, where a draft of a bill is read a second time. Members of public are involved to get their views on the proposed clauses before it's taken back to the august House for the third reading. A third reading is the stage of a legislative process in which a bill is read with all amendments and given final approval by a respective committee. In parliaments whose procedures are based on those of Westminster system, the third reading occurs after the bill has been amended by the designated committee. Finally, the granting of presidential assent is the formal method by which the president completes the legislative process by formally assenting or giving it consent to an act of parliament. Quite often, an act of parliament will provide that it will come into effect on a date to be notified. In such cases, after the act has received presidential assent, notification of the date of its coming into effect will be given through a legal notice by Treasury Cabinet Secretary. The Finance Act of 2023 became the fastest finance bill to be signed into Kenyan history on June 26, 2023, when the President extended his assent. The Finance and National Planning Committee report is one of several revisions to the bill that have been proposed by individual members, a section of committee members, and the House leadership.
That one, we are sure Kenyans will bring it down. It doesn't matter what it takes. And we are MPs from Azimio. We are united on that.
Hizi vitu zikitolewa, pesa zitafutwa kwa mali ingine, mimi hata na support waongeze bei ya pombe iwe kali sana, ikuwe very expensive.
Na hata hii ya 2023 tulikuwa bado hiyo kinonda iko na bado tunaumia. Sisi tutabaki tu na Mungu, hao wabaki na vile wanategemea, kwa sababu sisi tumeumia kabisa. kwa sababu kwa siku hata hauwezi kusave hata shilingi moja.
Understand this interest rate before it goes too far.
Following concerns that the bill contains tax proposals that will overburden the ordinary citizen, Maringa North Member of Parliament Joseph Makilap has reportedly opposed to the proposed motor vehicle tax with a rate of 2.5% of the motor vehicle value. Together with other members of the committee, he seems to have bought roads and transport. Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen commends idea that the tax collected at the fuel pump and currently priced at 18 shillings per litre should be increased by 7 shillings to make it 25 shillings.
I know there were a lot of discrepancies on issues to do with VAT on bread, which I think the committee removed. The VAT on sanitary towels, the committee also removed. There is a VAT on motor vehicle. We are waiting for tomorrow so that we can be able to see.
Kesho kama wabunge wa Kenya Kwanza tunaenda kumwona rais ili tujadiliane ni kodi gani zitatolewa kwa finance bill. Kesho lazima tumwambie zile kodi zinafinyilia mwananchi wa kawaida zitolewe kwa finance bill.
Political analyst Mutahi Ngonyi sensationally claims that the government has listened to Kenyans. He said that the revised finance bill set to be tabled in Parliament tomorrow has removed tax on cars, bread, edible oils and the eco levy. Digital strategist Dennis Itumbi also said the report will consider all the feedback and is sure the committee will adopt some of the ideas and suggestions. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
And we wait to see the outcome of it all. Every Kenyan above the age of 25 years will be required to contribute to the Social Health Authority Fund, SHA, regardless of whether they have a source of income or not. This is according to SHA chairperson Timothy Olweni, who also says that there would not be a point where one's card is depleted. If one exhausts their card, they will be moved to the next level, which is government funded. In case of emergency, chronic and critical illnesses, additional funds will be added to one's card. The chairperson also stated that overseas treatment will be funded for by the government, but only if those services cannot be offered in the country. Now, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha has also clarified that the Social Health Authority, set to commence on 1st July in replacement of the National Health Insurance Fund, aims towards providing highest standards of healthcare in line with the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
First of all, I'd like to welcome you to this presentation, but a lot of thought that went into it. It was designed to be able to address a lot of challenges we have within our healthcare system. So as I walk you through as the reporters on this, I think it will give better perspective in terms of the reasons why this was necessary. Now, first of all, there's the background in terms of there's a constitutional right to health which is enshrined in our Constitution. It's under Article 43.1, 43.2, and also other articles where it gives certain obligations to the government in terms of the realization of the progressive right to health. Next slide. So that covers both the right to health and also emergency.
So if possible, we become friends to the extent that if you need information, you can reach out to us so that we give you the right information. All the presenters here on a few areas. One is a constitutional right to health. The Constitution actually talks of the highest standard. So what we want to do with SHA is to move towards highest standard. Because as it is now, we are providing healthcare services, but we want to ensure that at least it's of the highest standard. The other thing with the Constitution,
now, away from that, the Kenya Human Rights Commission has criticized the plans of halting court services this week, terming it as a violation to the right to access to justice. Meanwhile, Inspector General Japhet Koome has come out to assure judicial officers of their safety while dispensing their duties, as they plan on halting all court proceedings this week following the death of Honorable Monica Kivuti in line of duty at the Makadara Low Coast. Sheila Chelangat reports.
Through a social media message, President William Ruto joined with friends, colleagues and family of late Honorable Magistrate Monica Kivuti in mourning her, noting that she was a dedicated officer that still had so much more to offer her country. The president stating that what transpired at the Makadara Low Courts on Thursday while Honorable Monica Kivuti was on duty is unacceptable and should not happen again. The late judicial officer was dispensing justice when she was shot right after delivering a ruling. Meanwhile, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has joined others to condemn the fatal shooting, calling for immediate investigations and heightened security in courts. Inspector General Japhet Koome in a rejoinder today assured judicial officers that his department guarantees all court employees their safety and that their security remains a priority. The judiciary set tomorrow, Tuesday 18th, to be a day to mourn Judge Monica, so all court activities countrywide will be postponed. However, an advisory by several judicial welfare organizations that court staff ought not to conduct any court activities from the 19th to 21st puts them in violation course with human rights organizations such as KNCHR, who call it a violation of the right to access to justice. KNHCR calling for alternative means to ensure this right is protected even as they mourn.
Thank you, Sheila, for that. A number of stolen vehicles were today recovered by DCI officers in Kamulu after a hot trail led to the home of a man in the area believed to be a member of a citywide car theft ring. The man was found with 5 stolen vehicles in his compound in a dramatic sting operation by the police. Mazden Wambugu has been.
Residents of Kamulu in Nairobi were today witnesses to a dramatic sting operation by law enforcement officers to break a car theft ring based in the area. Acting on a tip-off, a team of officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations recovered 5 vehicles and arrested one man, Silasio Njagi Kiura, who has been tied to the theft of the vehicles after 5 of the missing cars were allegedly found in his home in Kamulu along Josna Road. Dennis Masharia, the owner of a Toyota Raktis registration number KDJ366C, tells how he parked his vehicle in Umoja Inako and a few moments later it was missing. Among the vehicles recovered were a blue Mazda Demio registration number KCW831N, silver Toyota Raktis KDB216T, a silver Suzuki Mira KDB308P, and a Toyota Passo KCW346L, which was originally blue. The vehicles were towed to Buruburu police station where the suspect was detained. Mazden Wambugu, TV47.
Thank you, Mazden, for that. The ODM party has begun preparing for an anticipated by-election in Magarini constituency, Kilifi County. Now, this follows the Supreme Court's nullifying the election of the current Member of Parliament, Harry Kombe, after an appeal filed by Stanley Kenga of the UDA party. The anticipated by-election is expected to determine which party between ODM and UDA is popular in the area. Highlighting community development projects implemented by ODM, the Party Women League leaders have pledged to be on the forefront in ensuring that this seat is regained, asserting that ODM has continued to gain significant popularity in Kilifi.
Watajuta kwa nini wametangaza kwamba kufanywe by elections, manake itakuwa ni landslide. Ama mwasemaje? You know that the voter turnout in 2022 was not 100%, but we will ensure in these by-elections, we ensure it's 100% so that wana Magarini wenyewe wajiseme mbunge wao ni nani.
Ya nomination. Majina yakifika yule aliandika hapa sha relax. Hafanyi kazi. Hata ukimtoa kwambia nenda kufanya kazi gani na mimi jina langu sha.
Amwambia mama tafadhali toka. Ukijaribu kutukana tu baba, jameni, malaika zinasimama. Kwa hivyo huyu baba ndio mambo yote hapa Kenya. Bila baba nafikiri sijui hii Kenya yetu tungekuwa tuko vipi.
Na kwa hii vita yetu ni kupimana nguvu, si hata ya Mheshimiwa Stanley, si ya Mheshimiwa Rikombe, lakini hii ni kupimana nguvu ya ODM na UDA kama mnataka kujua leo.
A security guard in Ruaka Estate has filed a lawsuit against the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, alleging poor maintenance and lack of accountability regarding their cables following a severe electrocution incident. Nelson Wamboka Nangala, who also works as a general cleaner, claims the electric cables caused his electrocution, leading to the amputation to his right arm.
Nelson Wamboka Nangala, a 26-year-old security guard and a caretaker in Ruaka Estate, stands as a broken man.
So mtu mwenye alikuwa amehama pale alikuwa ameifunga juu hiyo stima ilikuwa shock mtu mwingine awali hapo 2022 na akafa. So ikabidi wafanye nini, waifunge hiyo balcony na kuwa wanaitumia. So mimi kuingia kwa hiyo siku hata najua niko na ufahamu na hiyo kitu, kwa sababu mimi nitafanya usafi kulingana wenye niko nafaa nimeagizwa. Hivyo maliza nyumba yote, ikabaki balcony tu moja ya ile ya side ya barabara ambapo waya za stima za 3 phase ile high voltage zilikuwa zimepita karibu na grill ya ile balcony kama 20 centimeters hivi.
The once vibrant individual is now a shadow of his former self, haunted by the terrifying incident that changed his life forever on a fateful morning.
Nimefika kwa hiyo balcony na ile moba, sijui kuanzia pale na kitu ingine, hakuna kitu ingine nilijua kwa hiyo nini. Juu nilijipata niko hospitalini, watu wamenisimamia majioni, sikuwa na ufahamu wa kuchelewa.
Nelson was allegedly electrocuted at his workplace by a low-hanging electricity cables, sending him into a coma.
Mona. So hiyo nilikuwa affected, hata kifua saa hizi nikipumua asingine nafika mahali inashikana. Kupumua inakuwa ngumu, siko kama vile, hata afya yangu haiko mzuri venye ilikuwa awali.
These haunting images captures the devastating aftermath of the electrocution. The severe burns cover his body, and the trauma has left him with an amputated right hand.
Mkono wakati nilifikishwa hospitalini, madaktari walipima mkono wakaiona haina tena uhai pale. So wakaanza kuniongelesha, wakaniambia utakuwa tu adaptive kwa ile sababu hii mkono tunaona iondolewe. Juu ilikuwa imekaushwa hivi vidole hadi hapa hivi, mahali imekatwa.
His face, once full of hope, now wears a mask of exhaustion and despair.
Uso, kichwa, na iko, mkono, alafu na hii.
In his single-room house in Ruaka, Nelson was once the heart of the household. Now the walls echo his suffering, and now the space that used to house his 43-inch TV is left bare. The microwave sits idle. The emptiness of the room mirrors his own, forced to sell all his possessions to cover exorbitant medical costs. Nelson's life has been stripped down to a painful struggle for survival.
Mimi nimeoa, in fact nikipata hii shida niko na bibi na mtoto.
Nelson has since taken a legal action against Kenya Power, accusing them of negligence. He believes his life-altering injuries are a direct result of their recklessness and failure to ensure safety.
Kenya Power cables and masts and posts were very near the premises, way too near the premises where the complainant, Mr. Mangala, was working. Not only that, the wires were also exposed when they should have been grounded, and there should have been sufficient protections for everyone who was there. The exposed wire is the reason we are taking Kenya Power to court.
We conducted a spot check at the apartment where Nelson was allegedly electrocuted, but the hazardous low cables have since been moved. Lennox Sengre, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Lennox, for that, and we indeed hope that the gentleman gets justice. The residents of Acacia, Kitengela area, Kajiado County, have complained about the poor work on the road repair in that area, blaming the contractor for doing poor work that has put the residents in great trouble. Our very own Isaac Famba has prepared the following story.
The locals have shown their frustration over the state of the road that was allocated 4 million shillings by the county government. The residents are furious over the conduct of the contractor, whom they accused for merely dumping several trucks of stones together with sands 2 days before and declaring the road complete. According to them, the dust levels and the large uneven and inflated rocks have apparently made the 4 kilometers road even worse than before. The contractor was not available for a response.
This is the third year in a row ambapo tunaona utapeli unafanyika hii barabara. Haijakarabatiwa, wamekuja wamemwaga glucose in the name of maram, hii changarao hii chokaa. Alafu wameleta tumaram ambayo hatueleweki. 4 million was allocated yet again in the last financial year. This financial year there was no allocation. But the allocation for last financial year, ndio imetapeliwa. It's been a fraud. No work has been done on this road.
Hii barabara ilialloketiwa 4 million. Ukiangalia kutoka pale, it is barely 500,000 which has been used. Lori 67. Sisi tulihesabu sababu sisi ni wananchi wa hapa. 67 na ni nusu. Ikamwagwa na inamwagwa sehemu pale kabla baada ya mwisho wa lami, ikamwagwa pale Matali na ikamwagwa hapo Mutu.
Elsewhere, the drivers and residents of Kinangop, Nyandarua County, using the Ndunyu Njeru to Matu Road are asking the government to fulfill the promise to complete the construction of the road that was stopped just a few days after the President William Ruto launched the project. Led by members of the Public Eyes Group, the residents say that it is sad that the road launched by the President on 6 April 2023 and which was to be completed in less than 10 days, months, is yet to be finished.
Sasa ni mwaka na miezi juu, hatujaona mabadiliko tangu ile siku matinga ilikuja ikachimbua, barabara ikawa kama shamba. Sasa twaelekea kuisha, tauni ya Donyojero inaelekea kuisha, hata tunashangaa na tunahofia ya kwamba isiwe ilikuwa mwanzo wa kumaliza Donyojero town.
Kama rais mwenyewe ametangaza kitu, alafu siku hii ingine na ambayo inafuatia ikose kufanyika, hata serikali yenyewe sisi wenyewe hatuwezi tukaiamini. Hata kesho rais akituambia atafanya kitu fulani hatuwezi amini. Rais, tunajua rais is the final say, ama sauti yake ndio ya mwisho, lakini tukiona akisema kitu then the following day inasimama, tunashindwa hata sisi wenyewe tutatokea wapi.
Isaac Famba, TV47.
Thank you, Isaac, for that. The head of public service, Felix Koskei, has called upon leaders and residents of Bomet County to adopt blocks within Chepalungu Forest to achieve President William Ruto's vision of planting 15 billion trees by the year 2032. Speaking after leading a tree planting exercise in Chepalungu Forest in Bomet County, the head of public service stated that the target of planting 50,000 trees in Chepalungu Forest will help restore the already destroyed forest. He added that the exercise will be carried every Monday in various areas within the country as per the President's directive. Bomet County Governor Hilary Barchok has said that his government will support the initiative to ensure the President's target has been achieved.
Hapa ni kwa miti, hapa ni kwao. Tupande miti hapa ili ichangie mambo ya kusaidia kuisimamisha ile kitu inaitwa climate change. Na rais ndio alitoa amri akasema ili tuchangie pande yetu kama Kenya vile nchi zingine za dunia wanafanya, lazima sisi tupande miti bilioni 15.
Itaendelea sio tu leo ama kesho, lakini kila siku mpaka to fulfill ile promise ambayo tumepea president wetu kama wenyeji wa Bomet, kuchangia ile miti ambayo itahakikisha kuwa tumefikisha 15 billion trees in the next 10 years.
You're watching the Daily Report. You caught me, sampling some of your feedback. I can see you say you're in Joro, watching from Kiambu. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we tell you more of what's happening across the country and beyond. Do stay with us.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning some.
Welcome back to the Daily Report. Samuel Nyakwar Olweni, you're saying you're watching this show. Thank you so much for watching Daily Report. Uthman Said, you're also saying you were watching the Daily Report tonight. Thank you so much. How did you spend your day? We'd love to hear from you. Please keep your feedback coming. Now, the woman representative of Busia County, Catherine Omanyo, has condemned the government for the delays made on the initiative to provide pads to school-going students. Speaking in Wanyange Primary School in Nambale sub-county during the issuing of water tanks within the area, Omanyo stated that it is quite a shame how the government has delayed the releasing of pads for almost 2 years. Yet it is the most important product needed in the life of a female student. She also opposed the imposition of the finance bill, saying that it will be a burden to Kenyans.
Lakini nadai Education Ministry miaka 2 walitakana kuleta hizi visodo, lakini imekuwa story za jaba. Miaka 2 imepita nikiambiwa story za jaba. I want to tell the Ministry of Education, you will not continue with the stories. I will ferry people from Busia to come in your office and stay there until you give me the pads. Tumeng'ang'ana, imetolewa Ministry of Education, imeletwa sasa gender, ambayo mkubwa wetu waziri anaitwa Aisha Jumwa. Wanipatie pads ama pesa yenye ingenunua hizo pads. Mimi mwenyewe niende ninunue pads. Mnanituma niende nimwambie? Nimwambie mimi sina kiuno kama yake. Mimi niko tu na akili.